evening from the ANA Friday, and we're in Phoenix, Arizona, and trying to get all the stuff hooked up here right and figure out just how to make it all happen. So thanks for joining me tonight. We'll wait for a couple minutes for a couple other people to get on. In the meantime, I'll try to make sure that my technology is not interrupting me with duplication of voice, which it tends to do because it's technology. So today was the second day of the Phoenix ANA show, and everyone's I'm gonna give a slight review of what we were looking at, how the show went, and other people can give me some feedback on what they saw, and hopefully we'll have enough bandwidth to make it all happen. That is yet to be seen. In the meantime, if you're stopping in, just drop a little hello in the chat, and we'll get rock and rolling. I had a great chance to meet a lot of new people today. Thanks to everyone for stopping in who came by. Some new friends, made some new friends, met some old friends, and it was pretty cool. It was really very cool. Let me see here. Got to see a lot of coins. So there's a 1913 nickel on display. You may have heard of those. For those of you who have not, 1913 nickel, they have it insured at $3 million, and it's probably worth that. So yeah, cool. Oh, hey, good evening, Lid Ford. That's good. I'm not finding my chat working on my end over here, but I'm just gonna talk. Yeah, that's chatting, right? We're just gonna chat here live. That's just me chatting. Yeah, 1913 nickel, $3 million coin. That was on display. We had the U.S. Mint set up, really kind of a nice little display. They had some youth activities. Now, I didn't get to see much of any of it, right? So, being set up at a show this size is a lot like being on an airplane, and your perspective during flight is very different depending on where you are, or on a bus or anywhere else, right? Like, you have a very different perspective of what's going on based on where you are in the room. So I'm not set up by any of that stuff. I am over near the exhibits. As always, the exhibits are really nice. A lot of people are dropping in some cool coins and a lot of history, which is always kind of fun. They drop in really good stuff. By the way, if the chat is working, drop a hello, and also if you have anything on your mind you want to talk about tonight, just let me know. Because we're back to back here. We had a live chat. Last night we had I did a Noops video, some new purchases. Tonight I don't have any Noops for you, but today I did mostly go shopping for some customers, some specific stuff. Hey Eric, how's it going? I went looking for some very specific customers' needs and wants, and found a few things for them, which was good. Now, one of the things that happened a lot for a lot of people at the show is you get there, and I saw a lot of this face. Like, overwhelmed, right? And so the overwhelmed look was because when you have, 300 tables and 100 and some odd dealers, it's just a lot of people, right? And so here's some of the things on the game plan if you want to know how to do a show like that. First of all, they have a list of all the dealers that are there. It is very helpful if you are able to look and see which dealers are there that you already know, that you can do business with, because that's kind of like your target. It's like when you go on a vacation and you say, okay, I'm absolutely have to do these two things, and after that, maybe the rest of the list we can get to. Same thing when you look at a coin show. Any coin show where you're crunched for time, or there's a huge amount of people, which also dealers also makes you crunched for time, just that it's hard to get to the whole room. No, hey, I'm going to see X, Y, Z, all that, right? And we're going to see all these different people. And then after that, then we will just roam the streets and freestyle. And freestyling is lots of fun on a show like this because you never know what you'll see, right? So, but I tell people that, so have that game plan. Of course, know what you're shopping for. Right, it's so much. It's like you don't want to go to the grocery store with hungry without a shopping list, and that's the same thing as going to a coin show with no shopping list and really no idea of what you want to buy. So know what you're looking for, and also know your budgets, and know your price points on the things that you're doing, right? Perplexed Mind, welcome. Appreciate you. I like the videos, and the videos both. Thanks for stopping in. The show's again tomorrow, Saturday, in Phoenix. I think the show times are like 10 to 5. I would recommend you get there by 3. I'm guessing it's going to be quiet after that. And I talked to you about spending all your money in a second. But one of the things that's interesting to me about the show is that, to me, it was very busy both days, Thursday and Friday. Like, we've been steady the entire time, but I have a lot of dealers that complain about not being as busy or the show not being as busy. And so I look at that and I just think, well, once again, I can only tell from my perspective. But today, at the end of the day, a lot of guys are packing up already and are clearly not going to be in there tomorrow, which to me is always very disappointing. And it makes me wonder, is a 3-day show the right size for a show? Are shows better when they're 2-day shows? How does that work, right? But I know that there's been some shows in Chicago where it's like a 5-day show, basically, and there's lots of people coming and going the whole time. Let me see if I can get to the chat yet or not. It's not really popping up here. Oh, there now we got some stuff going on. Dog Kama saying you go to the show with a list and you still have it all spent within an hour. Yeah, well, by the way, this is something else I had a conversation with 1 or 2 people about. It's okay if you buy something right away at the show. Can I just relieve you all of that pressure? It's okay if you bought something right away, and then don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about the UFOs in the background. Don't worry about any of it. Just go ahead and shop, continue to look around, be content with what you bought, though, right? I know that it's weird because you spent all your money right away, but if you found something that was on your list, in your price point, you've really achieved something, and don't be upset about it. Go ahead and enjoy your new item, whatever that price point may be. Yeah, and a bucket list item is great too. I mean, if you're buying a bucket list item, so for those of you who don't know, people use the term bucket list, of course, like something that's really been something you've wanted forever, and it just kind of is best. Proof Morgan, nice. Hey Jason, how's everything going? Let me know if you guys have any questions, comments about the show, the ANA, any other general coin collecting comments, questions. I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the sights and sounds today. I can speak, of course, from my experience. The show prices, was very busy for us at our booth. There were a number of booths that were busy all day. I talked to a lot of dealers who experienced that. And we sold a little bit of everything, if that makes sense. There wasn't just one type of thing that we were selling. I had some nicer paper money that we sold off. I had some type coins that we sold off. And it was a little bit of everything. I did retail and wholesale, not just one or the other. And, and I was able to buy some stuff from other dealers. It wasn't super tight. Tom Baker asking, are coin prices up, down, or flat? And I will say that yes, right? It depends on which portion of the coin market you're talking about. And I'm not being glib. I'm just saying, like, there's so many little niche components to the coin market that there's a lot of different areas. So coin prices came down a lot on Morgan dollars. Morgans are the most commonly traded coins. Those price points had gone really, really high, right? So on a lot of that stuff, it was just bound to come back down eventually, right? It couldn't really keep going up forever and ever on that stuff. And so you've seen prices drop on some of that stuff. What I'm still seeing is, even with prices coming down on a lot of things, the demand is still really strong. In other words, the prices may have come down, but the coins are still hard to locate. And when you find them, they're still at what I would call a premium. a premium over, what they were in the past anyways. So, we got here, oh, come on, Papa Giorgio. I can't read on that fine print on here. Thanks for joining us. But my opinion a little bit on the coin market is that it's going to continue to be pretty decent in the long run. And by pretty decent in the long run, I mean, even if prices can come down a little bit, the viability of a lot of this stuff is really strong. There were a lot of young dealers. There are a lot of very young dealers. Like, you go to shows and there's people who I'm pretty sure their mom is with them because they can't legally operate their own business. That's how young some of these guys are. And to me, it's exciting. Like, it's a whole other generation coming in. And, it's not just them. It's, their friends are also, collecting. And it's really interesting to see how it's going. So hold that thought. See, when you go live, stuff like that happens. And when I say hold that thought, I'll be back like in 2 nanoseconds, because if I don't get my water by me, it's going to be a problem. I think it's Lonesome George Thurgood that talks about getting dry. Am I right? Some of you guys know that, right? So let's see what else is going on out there tonight. Shop, buy, and bolt on out. Oh yeah, that's talking about. I like hanging out at coin shows. So for me, I don't think you should just, if you buy right away, I think it's really, there's nothing wrong with hanging out the whole day. Like, in fact, it takes the pressure off. So it's different when I'm there and I'm doing coin stuff, right? And I'm working. But it's really, really, like, I saw a dealer there who I see at other shows, and this guy is like a big dealer. What I mean by that is, normally when I see him at shows, he's got 3, 4, 5 tables, and it's just full of bullion and $1,000 bills and $500 bills and lots of stuff. He wasn't set up there. Instead, he and his gal were walking the show, and they looked so happy. And I get it, because working a show is fun, but at the same time, it is so fun to walk a coin show. Like, and if you've bought something, like, especially on your bucket list, if you've bought something that you really enjoy, then man, the rest of the day, you can just enjoy the show, like walk around. You can take time to look at people's tables, see the guy who's got the Abraham Lincoln tintype. You can see the double and triple dollars, like coins you've never seen before. And so it's really fun, actually, if you can buy a coin right away in the show and enjoy it. Because sometimes if you buy a coin at the end of the day, oh, hello from Iowa. Sometimes if you buy a coin at the end of the day, it's really like you feel rushed and pressured. You're like, you're still looking, I got to find that coin. But if you already spent your money, like, hey, let's just relax and walk around and have a good time at the show, which I think a good time's been had by all. I mean, I saw a lot of it. So sometimes you learn just by listening, and by that I just mean you kind of listen to what's going on in the room. If there's a buzz, if people are happy and laughing and smiling, or if it's like a library or a morgue or a stamp show, one of those things, And so this had a lot more life to it than that. And I saw a lot of shiny, happy people holding hands, which was good. A lot of people were really enjoying themselves and enjoying the chance to really visit with people that they know. Some of the people clearly haven't seen each other for a while, and they just meet up at coin shows. And the community is really great. All right, here we go. What else we got going on here? Make numismatics great again is spilling the beans over here. Did it really happen? Hello? So I met Dr. G at the show. And so this is like a small inner circle thing for some of you who know or don't know. But it was really a pleasure. Super nice guy. Dr. G, he has some really cool YouTube videos. And, he's got a life. So he's like, hey, I don't got to do this. I can't do this forever. But maybe he'll make a comeback. We'll see. Super, super nice guy. Right. Can't wait to go to the new International Money Exposition in Nashville in October. What? Nashville in October? Tell me more. That sounds good. I've been thinking about getting out to Nashville. Um, that would be fun. Like I said, I'll take suggestions. Last night I said if you guys can talk me into coming to California, maybe I will for a show. But there's other places. Just let me know where's the place to be. To me, shows are really made up by having good dealers there. And what I mean by that is, I know guys complain when there's not a lot of public there, but really, really, if if you don't have good dealers, it's like, if you show up and it's nothing but the guys that have like everything in off-brand holders and priced at double red book and none of that stuff. So you just understand what I mean by good dealers. Like all of you, when I say a good dealer, you have someone in mind that you go and see. Like if you get a room full of those guys who just make the show enjoyable because they're not high pressure, they're not condescending, they'll spend time with you, they understand it's a hobby, they understand that it is money too, but they're not just looking at you like a dollar sign, right? Those guys, those guys make shows great, right? So I don't know if your Nashville show is going to have all those guys, but I hope it does. I hope that it does. Part-time Picker AZ asks, is it safe to come to the show with $5,000 worth of coins to sell? I mean, sure, I don't know why not. I don't know what the exact concern is. What I will say is, generally speaking, the downtown Phoenix area is relatively clean. I mean, it's a lot cleaner than a lot of big cities I've seen. A lot cleaner than being in parts of LA or Vegas that I've been to. Relatively quiet and chill, actually. And, so I'm not 100% sure the total point of the question. But I guarantee you there's like a lot of coins there worth more than $5,000 at that show. So yeah, I'd say it better be safe. And by the way, not to be too flippant about it, but like inside the show also, there's a lot of security. I mean, they have security around the outside of the building, but also they have whatever the A-team security is, and then they've got guys in nice suits with like earpieces in. Those guys are my favorite. Always dress sharp, right? And there's a lot of security. There's a lot of eyeballs out there in the place. So, Kevin, I will be at the Central States in April. I have it booked. I'm coming out to the Midwest. So, maybe I'll try to do this. I mean, maybe I'll start coming out to do like Central States, fun, in like maybe Baltimore. Maybe that, I know that doesn't cover the entire country, but I also I'm looking to see about if any of you go to the Portland PNNA, Pacific North Numismatic Association show. That's something that's kind of on my radar to get up onto the northwest part of the country also. All right. I am really live and alive. True. Thanks for the compliments. I enjoy making the videos. Come to the next Long Beach show. I'm so allergic to going to Long Beach, but I mean, maybe if I get enough people tell me it's time to go back. So from the parking lot to the garage to the show, yeah, it's fine. I mean, I've seen, if you want to, so this is just advice generally for shows, talking about parking and stuff. It's good to know ahead of time where the parking is, where the Civic Center is, or whatever the facility is you're going into, what the distance is. All those things are really important to know. So one of the parking garages is behind the building, and it seems something a little bit out of the way because you've got to walk around the building. Another parking garage is to the south of it. But I've felt really comfortable at the show doing stuff. Dana, will you be at the TNA show in Arlington, Texas in June? I have that question for Dana, who just said TNA show. Um, how much is it for pictures with you, Kevin? What? Kevin, stop. Stop. So funny. Dana, I'll see you at the TNA show in June. That's on my list. I'm going to be there this year. I went last year, actually. So, Kevin, I'll be happy to see you, and there's no charge for pictures, really. It's fun getting out and having fun with people. Do any of you? My voice sounds more rested today. Oh my goodness, that's funny. I'm feeling it right now because it's just like I was talking all day today too. I'm not as tired as last night because, by the way, I was it was 2 hours later last night by the time I got on or whatever, hour and a half, and so that affects things too. Anyway, so the show's been really good. And the market is still very good. It seems to me like there's an area where, coins between that, what do I say, $100 and $500 coin price point are really strong. And then, well, how would I put this? Let me rephrase that. You almost have to go above the $100 point. There's this weird area in the marketplace where maybe call it $250 to $750 range. Like there's just a lot of market there. Like there's actually just a lot of coins in that price point, a lot of buyers for them, it seems to me right now. Also, this is interesting, there's also a pretty strong market when you step up from there. Now there's also a strong market below, but the below strong market is different. In other words, you'd think there's a lot more people that can buy $10 coins than $100 coins. This is true. However, what I think you run into is like there's a point at which you get into like really inexpensive coins, and those always will have some kind of like downside to them because they're not as. I'm only talking about the dollars and cents here, right? Like the actual money side of things. There's none of that. I can't say dollars and cents and money side because we're talking about numismatics. That doesn't make. Come on, I'm talking about the business side, maybe the investment side that people talk about. Because if you have $10 coins, what is the real wholesale demand going to be for them, right? The cheaper the coin, oftentimes, percentage-wise, it's often a larger percentage. Maybe that's what I'm getting at. And I was talking to a dealer who has a lot of really nice national banknotes, and I asked him about some banknotes, and he said, well, he tends to not buy anything once it gets over about $5,000. And I found this to be really interesting because I know what he's talking about. You have different markets for different items because of obviously they're different types of items, right? So you're whatever it is, you just do SLQs or you only do Indian head pennies or whatever it is. But then you also have this whole price point scale thing where you really start to see limitations on buyers at different price points. And this guy has like, whatever, $1 million in inventory, but he doesn't buy notes over $5,000. Do you know what I mean? Like it's an interesting kind of concept because you wouldn't necessarily look at it that way. So, so that guy had he had stuff from every state. So that was going on. All right. Okay, spill the beans on allergic to Long Beach. My Long Beach experiences are several fold, and perhaps some of them self-induced, but I didn't feel safe previously at the facility traveling to and from and going in and out of. And this is a couple of years ago. And my understanding is it's not as good as it was. And now this is a little bit different. I also didn't have a ton of success working the show, so to speak. And I have a lot of guys who tell me, no, they always do well at Long Beach. So maybe it could be it's a me problem. Right? It could be it's a me problem. Also, this is just an anecdotal thing. I don't know that Long Beach is what it used to be. And I mean that as in the way that they do stuff, right? So I had a buddy who set up at the ANA show with, not with me at my booth, but set up, who was going to set up the Long Beach show, and he called him 3 times and they never got back to him. Like, what is that? And then, so I told him about the ANA show, and he's like, oh, okay. So he came up here instead, because it was closer to home anyways. So that worked out really good. So allergic to Long Beach, I don't know. Personal preference, I guess. Maybe I'll go anything. The hard part is, in general, like if you spend more money on a show, you're definitely not guaranteed to ever make more money. Like the bigger shows cost a lot more money usually, and you're not really guaranteed to like just make a lot better return on your money, right? You're not guaranteed that you can do a lot more business. The travel's not bad for me. I mean, from here to Long Beach isn't that a big thing? Anything really special that you purchased, previewed? Tom, thanks for asking. I don't have anything with me here tonight to show. I did show for the people that were so right now on the channel we've got like membership levels, and basically it's like, hey, thanks for the videos you do, and here's whatever, $5 a month. It's actually split into 2 levels, which I'm kind of working on. I'm rethinking, but we have extra videos for like the members, right? So it's a small little thing, and I already showed them something that I got that I'm excited about, but I don't know what I'm going to do with. I can only describe it a little bit and say that they're the year 1890s public school educational teaching boards. Like they're boards, they're like, got to be 18 inches by 36 inches or something like that. But they have coin icons, coin imagery all over them. They're super sweet. I've got the original wood crate easel that they were in, and I can't sell it. Like, I'm so excited about these things that it's so unusual to find something that unusual. That's good wordage. And what am I gonna do with them, right? Like, I can't sell them because I can't replace them. This is the type of thing that's really a dilemma, but also because there's like 8 of them and they're big, and it's like, how much space do I have? I don't. Maybe Mrs. the Coin Geek will let me take something home finally. W.O. Cassidy, Nashville in October is magical. Is Mickey Mouse there? Dude, Nashville in October. I'm not signed up yet, but in October, I think I was planning on doing the Denver show. So I got to look at my schedule and see what's going on. What will you never pass up at a coin show? Eric wants to know. Free food. There we go. No. So, Eric, if you can give me more information about the question behind the question. So, things I will never pass up at a coin show. I don't know exactly. Yeah, give me more information about what you mean by that. Besides the free food part, but I like going to shows and looking around, and there's so much fun things at coin shows because it's full of coins, people. Come on. Let's see here. Oh, hey, Larry. On the plus side, though, Long Beach is close to the SBG. It's not all about the show math, Larry. Sometimes you get something kind of just you're stuck in your craw, so to speak, and you just can't quite express why you don't want to do something other than to say, I'm just not sure I want to do it. It's just kind of in your spirit. Eric, is there any coin or series of coins that are a must-buy for you when you see them? So the hard part about answering your question for that is, like, when you look at stuff, people, they have things at all different price points, right? And for me, because I need to be able to resell things, I can't just look at something and say, yeah, I've got to buy that. Now, to get to what I think you're getting at especially are the things that are uh, a, well, let me put it this way. I like things that other people don't. And what I mean by that is when something is really hot in the marketplace, everybody runs to it. And what I find is when everyone's running to it, all of a sudden the price points get tighter and margins get tighter, and it's just like you get squished, and everyone runs and runs to one item, and the prices go up and up and up and up. Everyone's got to have it, and then all of a sudden one day you turn around and you're like hot potato. You're the one holding the bag. You're the one with the hot potato, and so I like things that other people aren't as super into. So in other words, it's cool, like the toned coins were cool, but you don't want to run towards that. Even though right when it starts, you can buy some stuff and really do well with it because all of a sudden everyone's looking for it, right? Same thing with some of the old holders and CAC stuff. Although I like that stuff, you go to a show like this and then but everyone's got it priced at huge numbers, right? And so I like finding stuff that people aren't looking for. And because that to me there's value. So, I like looking at a foreign dealer and seeing that he has some US stuff, or going to a US dealer and finding out he has some paper money and he normally just does coins. Little things like that I find enjoyable because sometimes you can find a deal. So I don't know if that really really answers your question, but as far as passing off stuff, yeah, the free food is the pro answer. You're asking about a coin series that you'll always buy. Look, it's always easy to sell better date coins. That's not a series. That's just an answer for your question. It's also always easy to sell Morgans and Lincoln pennies. There's things that are always easy to sell, right? But I think the real answer has to do with better date coins, because on a really better date coin, there's always someone who's going to be looking for it. And so hope that gets to some of your questions. All right, let me see here. Denver, Dr. John is happy to hear that. Oh boy. Is there a steady supply of graded old Mexican and Central American at the coin shows you attend? What about in the Tucson area? I wouldn't call there a steady supply ever of any of that material. I did see some really pretty cool world stuff at the ANA show here. There's some really nice stuff, for sure. And including one guy had a coin that I didn't own this specific coin, but it was a Central American coin, and it's got the sun rising in the mountains, and it's one of the few coins I regret selling, from 25 years ago. Now his was $11,000. I think when I sold mine, it was a few $100, but it was Central Arizona. Central Arizona. Larry, help me out here, brother. Don't use initials so much. Yes, Central American Republic. Is that what it's called? I want to say the Central American States. Beautiful coin. It had lovely toning. On the back, it has a tree in the middle of the coin, and I sold it, and it was just one of my all-time favorite coins, and I've never had another one quite like it. So, all right. Let me see here. All right. Yeah, well, Cassidy really wants me to come out to Nashville, as we have updates every 3 minutes here on how great Nashville is. I love it. What are the best strike years for the peace dollars? Best strike years? Oh, man. Well, I mean, the Philly mints are usually struck better than the San Francisco mints and Denver mints. It's funny because people collect Standing Liberty quarters with full heads, and you get full bell lines on Franklin half dollars, and there's all these things. But really, almost every series could have something like that. Like the peace dollar has some lousy struck coins throughout it, right? And so, I got to think that some of the earlier issue 1922, 23 issues strike me as being well struck. And but you could really get into the striking game when it comes to almost any series, and just talk about how nice the coin is relative to how nice the coin is struck relative to other coins. Now, there's a term that I'm using called primacy, which I want everyone to get used to hearing, because I think it's important to understand that when you talk about strike, you're talking about the primacy of the coin. You're talking about when the coin was first made, what it originally looked like before it ever went into circulation. So understanding how well a coin was struck is really important. Understanding what type of luster the coins come with is really important. Understanding if the planchets came with or without any type of abrasions on them before the coin was struck, really important. All that is stuff that goes into understanding how to grade a coin and how to value a coin when you look at it. I'm blowing kisses. I'm not yawning. I'm not tired. You're tired. All right. Here we go. Okay, don't make fun of the Midwest, guys. I mean, I'm going to go see lots of really nice humans in the Midwest. Don't make fun of... Just because it's flat doesn't mean there's nothing to look at. Unbelievable. All right. Okay. Finding underappreciated, undervalued. Yeah, I'm still like minor. I still like foreign miners. In other words, small coins from foreign countries that are from like the early 1900s that are really high grade, certified. Hey, is that Drickett who just came on here? How's it going, guys? Central American Republic. What a great coin, man. One of my favorites. Let's see. Oh yeah, then so lots of pesos. There was a decent amount of Mexican and South American, Central American stuff. Let me see here. Oh, come on now. Hey, from Saturday in Singapore. I don't know what time it is, Tim. Don't mess with me. I got all kinds of people doing stuff here. I've had some 1921 peace dollars struck up really well in the past. But yeah, it's hard to get. You won't get peace dollars, fully struck peace dollars just about ever. So almost never. All right, especially the center of the coin. Yeah, I mean, that's what Larry's saying. Like, you won't get them struck up in the center of the coin. That part where the hair is right in the center there, it's just, and sometimes this is where you want to look and see how much hair is there, right? When you do a show like the A&A, what's your preferred setup? Do you keep everything locked down in glass cases? Do you mix it up with some baskets, folders, boxes, and other goodies? So, yeah, that's a good question, because it's really interesting to see the way people set up. Like, I see guys with like bins just set up on their countertops, and it makes me a little crazy. I get that at the store. Like, we can have bins and stuff at the store. I keep things under, inside of the cases mostly, unless there's something that's kind of bulky that I can put out that's not going to walk away. But but I do mix it up what's inside of the cases. Like, I have one display. I'll have to remember to put on Instagram tomorrow, right? I have a display of burnt coins. So this old PCGS holders that went through a home fire. So they're just melted, like melted plastic with a coin in the middle, right? And so, but I made a little label that says, it's hot in Phoenix, don't leave your coins in the car. And so you put that in the showcase, and it has like its own little area, and it sticks out, and so I like having something that stops the eye a little bit. And for a show like this, and especially if I'm traveling to the Midwest or Nashville or wherever, I'm not going to have boxes and boxes of backup. I'm going to have a pretty limited amount of material with me relative to what some of the guys do. Because I got guys, they're coming in with cases and cases and cases and cases of coins. The other thing that I have at this show, which someone said I should put in the exhibits, is I have a coin that I got slabbed. I got it. It was in PCGS holder, sent it to NGC, cracked it, sent it to PCGS, cracked it, sent it back to NGC. And each time it got a lower grade. So, and this is a legacy coin for me. I have that on display with each of the empty holders And then the coin, the holder it's in now is an NGC holder, calling it Unk Cleaned. It originally was in a PCGS MS62 holder, and then went to an NGC AU58 holder, then a PCGS Unk Questionable Color, and now it's in a NGC Unk Cleaned. So, and I just have a little note that says the life and times of a coin. There you go. So that's I I could win. Yeah, I could win the thing. So the for best display. Alrighty, here. What do you consider to be an underrated series in the American coins? You know, there's a lot of the seeded stuff is kind of underrated. What I'm intrigued by, and it depends a lot on price point too. Like what I'm intrigued by is I had some Proof 64 seeded dimes that I got at the show, and you know they're about $600, and they're attractive coins, and I think that just seems odd. Like it seems like they should be like double that, right? And so sometimes you just look at certain series or certain coins, you're like, how is this this inexpensive? And anytime you kind of get that gut check, we're like, really? Maybe I should look more into collecting this whole series, right? All right. Those were proof seeded dimes is what those were, by the way. All right, you mentioned looking for coins for clients. Did you find any? If so, did you buy them, or were they too expensive? I find it interesting to see what's popping, what's not. I'm not that great at finding coins for clients because I really want to provide a lot of value to clients. But what I'm finding more and more is that I have clients that are willing to, if it's a nice coin, go ahead and pay. So like maybe gray sheet on the coin is $600. But all over the show, people are pricing them at $800, and I just think that is way too much money. But if my client knows that he can't buy them for less than $800, he doesn't care, right? So at the end of the day, if I can get it to him at that $800 range, he's probably going to be okay. But I got a lot of spoiled clients, and spoiled I just mean they've gotten so used to buying stuff for like back in the day when gray sheet was like retail. Right now, gray sheet's not as retail as it used to be, but it'll be retail again. This gets back to the earlier question about how busy the market is. Things are retail and then they're not. All right, there's a whole lot of type coins that are completely underrated. But you know what's underrated that I think you can buy that's cheap? In fact, if you really enjoy sending coins in to get them certified, and you don't mind spending the money, and you want to experiment stuff, and you want to learn a series, Jefferson Nichols. I said it. I said Jefferson Nichols. That's right. It's late night on Friday night. I almost started like getting violent over here over Jefferson Nichols. Trying to find really attractive ones and in high grade is not easy. And I find that you can locate old albums once in a while that dealers have that, you know, they're not super expensive, but you can really kind of cherry pick that stuff. So getting back to that theme of like what's a value and what's underrated and what can you still cherry pick, you know, that kind of gets me back into that whole mid-century modern theme, which is to say stuff from the 40s and 50s and 60s even that you can still cherry pick really nice coins that some of them, if you really train your eye to what a gem coin looks like, if you can get some type of a top pop out of it, you know, you can really do well on that type of stuff. So, and a lot of that stuff is, I think, underrated. Did you say Tennessee? You all know Colonel Littleton out there, right? Colonel Littleton? You guys, you Tennessee folk? Okay, I'm just saying. All right. Here we go. I got a lot of guys who do like the seeded stuff. It's a tough series to put together. So, all right. Hey, don't thank me that the pop reports are all messed up. We don't know if they're right or not. We don't know how right or wrong the pop reports are. It's not my fault. Oh boy, I really don't crack that many coins. Honest to goodness, it's just people really enjoy those. Um, okay, so looking at a 2000 high relief online, but the label doesn't match the NGC has for the image. When should I be concerned about this? So, if I understand you right, you're looking up a coin cert and it's describing the coin the right way, but the picture's wrong. I've been getting coins back from NGC with like images flipped and stuff. Like it's not the right image for the coin, and so there's something going on internally at NGC that they need to work on. I mean that they just don't have. There's something going on there because I've had that happen with several coins lately. So I don't think it would be a concern. You know, I mean, if you're worried about having a coin that you're trying to buy on eBay and you think it's like fake or counterfeit, I mean, there's plenty of people that have those coins you can buy online without going through eBay if you're really concerned about it, right? All right. Ah. Oh, Larry's making fun of me now. Hey, Jefferson Nichols it's a tough set to put together nice coins. That's all I'm saying, right? He's waiting for me to say Susan B. Anthony's next. Let me see here. So Tim, are you in Singapore? Okay. Singapore's on kind of my list of places to go. Um, I've seen some stuff. It looks like it's kind of a neat place. All right, what else? All right. Yeah, we're going to SBAs next. Are error coins only popular on the secondary market, or do you find many dealers that handle them? Yeah, error coins is a tough one because it depends a little bit on what you're talking about for the type of errors. So there's a lot of stuff that's out there on like whatever, I guess TikTok and YouTube where people are showing error coins, and it'll be these really minor things that most collectors I know don't have interest in. And so in that regard, there's not really a secondary market for it per se. The only error coins that to me are really popular are ones, so like I need to see people are wanting to come in and pay money for them, right? So that's going to be like your common popular things, right? So you've got your 55 double dice and 72 double dice. And your SBA, there you go, Larry, that's for you, your SBAs. So the error market's really interesting because it depends on what type of error you're talking about, right? So if you have really fancy misstruck errors that are beautiful and brilliant, you'll see them trading in at auctions at good levels. The weird part of the market for me is like the stuff that you find in like Konica listings, and you find in the Cherry Picker's Guide where it's like modern double dies, DDOs, and I'm like, that market to me is really strange because I've seen people pay a lot of money for stuff on eBay, but I don't know any dealers that would pay the money for it, right? So it doesn't seem like it seems like it's a little bit more of that one-way market. I hope that answers your question a little bit. All right. Let me see here. Yeah, no, if the picture's wrong, but it's a heritage auction, I'm sure it's fine. I mean, that's got to be nothing wrong with that, but you can tell NGC to fix it, I guess. All right. Let's see here. Have to ask and been wanting to on your videos, but do you collect the old annex soap boxes, or do you normally break the coins out of them? Well, guilty as charged. I like the old soap boxes. I don't know what I'm going to do with that stuff anymore because it's like, if it's an expensive coin, they're still just hard to sell. I mean, even if the coin's easily graded accurately, and I really wish that CAC would sticker them. The day CAC stickers annex soap boxes is the day Annex soapboxes become like super popular. Like, hot take, right? So, but no, really, I mean, I think that that when you look at that market, there's plenty of really nicely graded coins in soapbox holders, and there's some expensive ones too. But like, I've had some really expensive coins in soapbox holders lately, and I couldn't sell them. I just couldn't sell them. Once a soapbox gets north of a few $100, it's like, well, people are gonna put it in their registry set, and they're gonna want an NGC only or PCGS only and that type of thing. So it's one of those things that I've seen, and I don't automatically break them out though. No, that's like not that's also not how it works. Alrighty. Let me see. What else we got going on here? 65 quarter that weighs 4.1s, I'm guessing. Yeah, dime stock. So if you haven't seen something on dime stock, all that means is that it's not that it's the size of a dime, it's the thickness of a dime. And so that'll make them a little bit lighter. We've had some of that also happening. I've seen those. Those are pretty cool. All right, Nathan. Love your videos. Wish you would make a video about specifically the individual Confederate States currency. Thanks for the suggestion. That's so I make a lot of videos based on when stuff flows to the shop, and I get a hold of something, and I'm like, it's just instant inspiration. You see it, you're like, oh, cool. Look at this. Let's talk about it. And I don't discriminate. Like y'all have seen, if you actually watch some of the material, I cover all kinds of stuff and some other ephemera, weird paper money stuff that's off to the side, other odd collectibles. So definitely, if I get a little group of Confederate States in instead of just CSA notes, we'll take a look at adding some of that. That's cool. All right. What else? All right. Good night. Buenos noches. Well, if El Pandy's going to bed, I mean, the rest of us probably should soon. But for those of you who stayed up, I haven't talked about this yet, so I'm just going to mention this now. I was supposed to do this with Seth Chandler from Witter, but we didn't get together because we were both busy the whole time the show was running, and he's taken off. He's not going to be set up tomorrow. But I'm starting a coin show in Tucson in January, and we were going to have some fun at the show and mess around, and so but that's kind of a thing. I'm hoping it's going to be awesome, right? I already have the reason I was Seth. He's going to be coming to the show, and I know Alan Rowe from Northern Nevada Coins coming to the show. I think I'm going to have a bunch of guys that some of y'all know from other areas too, but I'm going to try to make it a really sweet regional show, and maybe if I start showing up to some SBG stuff, they'll start showing up to my show. I don't even know what that means. It's just a bunch of initials that some guy said on a chat once online, but we'll try to figure it all out. So let's see what else is going on here. By the way, I don't even know, Jason. Oh, come on, man. That's awesome. See, I don't see if you guys watch that thing that pops up there. That's I think that's called a super chat. That's how the guys roll who do what do they do? Streaming, twitching. Twitching is like what I do when I try to fall asleep. But streamer games that people who stream video games. By the way, that's my next big announcement. I'm going to start streaming my Mario Kart adventures. Also, one of the things is I'm going to be going to now. Seth puts on something called Witter U, and he's literally takes 40 young numismatists, pays to have them flown to San Francisco. And for a whole week, he shows them around town. For 5 straight days, he has professionals come in, like people who really know what they're talking about, come in and do teaching seminars with the kids. And then in the evenings, he'll have speakers come in. And so he's got his webpage up. They need to raise about $175,000. I'll promote this some other time, right? But I'm just saying it's a cool thing. And I'm gonna go and speak at. I'm not a presenter, but I'm gonna go and speak. And then on Saturday, he's doing a closed coin show for all of them, right? So sometimes I have to censor myself because I see things like tips coming in and I want to say things that I think are funny, but not all audiences are appropriate for all my jokes. So, but anyways, so Seth's going to have the Witter U. I'm going to go and speak. There's a closed coin show that's just for the people who are there. He's going to have like whatever, 30 dealers there, and then have the kids, see what it's like, and he's going to try to teach them and educate them on how to do stuff. So it's a really cool concept. I'm really excited to be a part of it, and it should be fun. All right, let's see where I'm at here. All right. We go 10-point scale NGX. So I think that when it comes to the 10-point scale, I think I have no problem with modern coins going to a 10-point scale. I actually would encourage it. Anything really new. I don't even know what's going on here. How are you putting images up on my screen right now, Tim? Is this a Singapore trick? I'm in my own middle of my own technology. I don't know how this works. Oh, so I would be in favor of the like proof silver eagles, modern coins. I'd be 10-point scale, and also go ahead and make that a scanner. I mean, like, just that's all AI. You don't need humans to look at it. So it's good. Now, if you okay, now you guys are starting to make some suggestions. I don't know what's going on anymore. Who's moderating this show? All right, so this is so funny. I'm laughing at all y'all. So $35 for the new coin show. Also, what I was thinking was that you guys are gonna like bribe me to go to a certain show. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll do like fundraisers, and whoever you ever see, like, have you seen how people put out tip jars, and they'll be like, DC versus Marvel, and they'll put out 2 little tip jars, and that way you're encouraged because I get to vote. It like quadruples the donations, right, or the tips. So maybe I should do that. I should have a thing where it's like, okay, y'all can either get me to go to Baltimore, or you can get me to go to California and do Long Beach. Right, and then just have a tip jar war, and you have like maybe 2 different GoFundMe pages. Oh my gosh! All right, it's good. I hope El Pandy already went to bed because they don't want to get caught up in any of this stuff. That's oh, you guys are killing me tonight. It's good stuff. All right. Greetings from your high school roommate, Colorado, dude. All right. That's such a roundabout way. Let me know, man. Let me know how you're doing. It's you got my phone number. All right. I couldn't figure out the tip thing. You just buy a super chat. I don't know. You click on buttons and it takes. I don't know how any of that stuff works. It just it's just YouTube on the fun end. Nicholas saying that he met Seth in Philly last week. By the way, he's all over the place. He's always traveling. I mean, he's at shows everywhere. That guy, he is just a tour de force, and he is a nice guy. I've spent some time with him now, and I'm just trying to think about how much you share about people, right? But like in a conversation, telling people to put their phones down so they can talk. That kind of thing. I like that. Like, that's kind of a nice thing. Like, that he actually wants to be engaged in the conversation. And that's totally different than, I don't know, how sometimes how people are, right? So, anyway, all right. Larry, be careful! I'll end up in Hong Kong. Dude, last night on a live stream, I had somebody from Hong Kong on there, and that's always fun. Owls versus Eagles. There you go. I got my owl shirt on tonight. You guys see? By the way, did you guys? I'm surprised. I didn't see anyone talking about this yet. Oh, sorry about that. I probably screwed up the audio here, but this was. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. There we go. But my wife made a shirt for me, right? So, and if you want to order one, I don't know, email the shop and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I think it was really nice of her to make them. So, it's eventually I'll get actual merch, but until then, handmade by Mrs. the Coin Geek, right? That's how it is. So, by the way, any shirt that is gray is a nice shirt. That's my rule, right? That's just how that goes. All right. So there was a question back I saw that popped up about gold eagles, and I think if we're talking about Indian heads, all right. You know what? Do you like gold Indian heads? Okay, so $10 gold Indian heads are among my favorite coins if you can afford them, especially really choice AU coins, because they're just stunningly beautiful. And to me, how would I put this? I was going to say they're like Ma Bell. They'll never go away, right? What I'm getting at is there's certain companies, maybe I should say like Walmart, right? There's certain areas of the market that are just really, really strong. And like consistent, steady. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Steady, right? Oh, dang. Now, I thought El Pandy, you were going to bed. Good gravy. Thank you guys. You guys are too good. Too good. Thank you. But the 10 Indians are amongst my favorite coins. 5 Indians are also good, and so are 2.5 Indians. But there's something to me about 10 Indians that I think are just really a kind of a special coin, because they just seem like they'll always have a solid footing. So I don't know how else to describe it, because I don't have any metrics to show you other than to say like this is really a kind of a fun, a fun area to collect, where there seems to always be demand. Because when gold was $300 an ounce, those coins were $600, $700. Unks were $900. And it just feels like they're strong, right? It just feels like they're really strong coins. All right, here we go. What else we got going on here tonight? Man, that's fair. Now I can afford that Starbucks downstairs. That's something else. By the way, so I'm looking forward to all you guys coming. Save your money to come to Tucson in January and hang out. Like, I'm really excited about this concept. I don't know that I don't want to be like, yeah, the show's gonna be totally different, bro. Because that's not exactly how I talk usually in person. But also, it's I do in a way think it's going to be different, because I'm trying to get people together that are really good, friendly dealers, right? People who are knowledgeable, are fair, and everybody likes to see the show. That's kind of my goal. And then for the people that are coming into town, I want you to have a really good time. Like, I want you to enjoy the city of Tucson. Like, this is interesting because, like, downtown Phoenix is like, it's metropolitan, whatever. And, after hours, people, you go to the fancy shishi place or whatever. And I get that, right? But, like, if you're coming to Tucson, I actually want you to come in a couple days ahead of time, or stay a couple days afterwards and go and see Southern Arizona, because Southern Arizona is, to me, it's just a very special place. So, all right, 10 Indians are big enough and have enough field to really see some good luster. Not too big to be really super expensive. That's a good way to put it, too, about the 10 Indians. And maybe that's one of the reasons why I like on the 2.5 Indians. They're not really my favorite. Dana, thank you. Have us all over for a barbecue. Listen, be my guest. I'll tell you what. I do want to have gatherings. Like, I want it to be about community and about getting together and hanging out. But one of the reasons I do like $10 piece is because they're so much bigger, and then 2.5s are like a little too small. 5s are interesting. So here's the weird thing about that series: like the 2.5 and the 5 have the same design, just different sizes. But try to find a $5 gold piece that's unk and attractive versus a 2.5 that's unk and attractive. Like uncirculated 2.5s I find often and find them very nice. With the 5s are really hard to find uncirculated, and then to find ones that are uncirculated and are attractive, it's just very, very difficult, right? It's just a whole lot harder than you would expect. So good stuff. So how does TSA handle carry-ons when you carry on $100 in wheat pennies? I think some of the guys that travel with the big bulk stuff, they drive, hopefully. Yes, you really need to be mindful about what you're traveling with, right? There's just a whole lot of stuff there. How funny. Let me see what else we have going on. How's the market on moderns? Moderns? Is that what that says, Jason? Doing, okay. I'm going to get back to that while you explain, okay, on modern. Then I'll get to David here in a second. So modern commems, well, it depends. If you're talking about modern U.S. commems or if you're talking about other modern stuff, right? So modern U.S. commems, that's kind of a mixed market for me. When you said moderns, the first thing I thought it was actually a lot of other stuff that's modern, like the Queen's Beast or other 1-ounce units that people put out with different designs. A lot of that stuff seems to be pretty popular still. The modern commems, it's really hit and miss though. It's just really it's like a party going on out there. Sorry, getting a little loud. The modern market. So what's hard to find is like the early modern commems in high grade certified that are actually attractive. I don't know that I'd ever be like hot on that market. It's not one that I follow very closely. I will say that I've noticed there's been a lot of movement for us personally at our coin shop with people buying OG stuff, like stuff in the mint packaging. And I'm happy to see that they're buying them off of our website and not off of eBay, but they still buy them off of eBay. It's going to be cheaper on our website than on eBay. And, you see a lot of people with the modern stuff who buy one specific type of item. And then, so in other words, like, hey, I don't buy modern stuff, but here's a baseball thing. I like baseball, right? But then you also see the people that collect the entire series. They need one of every last thing the U.S. Mint's ever made. And so that creates a lot of interesting areas in the market. And then, of course, there's the Silver Eagle market, which is its own market. And that's the thing. Like I said, I don't follow super close. A lot of that gets into people collecting holders more than coins. It's a thing. But, man, it's a thing all over the place. Like, I'm watching people collect. I'm looking at doilies, right? These PCGS holders that have this funky label from, like, the second-gen holder. And I'm like, oh, I should buy that. Because they're like, it's just a holder, right? But just a piece of plastic. We can all get caught up in that stuff sometimes. David says, I think it's also the time when the Gem and Mineral Show is in town. 100%. So what happens is then, this should be the third weekend in January. The following week, the gem show starts. So you can literally do the Tucson show, the Tucson club shows on Sunday. You can do the gem show during the week, and then the following weekend you can do the Mesa show. And so you can spend 10 days in Arizona, do some sightseeing, and if you've never been to the Gem and Mineral Show, it's just worth going. I can send you to 2 different venues that you can spend all day at either one and just see stuff and be like, this is the most bizarre thing you've ever seen. Bizarre, like when you go shopping at the bazaar, like you're somewhere in Singapore maybe. You know, that's a whole thing. All right. All right, here we go. Thanks, Dime Bag Darren. Nice. Do you play a bass guitar for who was that? Now you got me all mixed up here. I'm going in the way back machine. All right. So now if I didn't have a voice today, I'm really not going to have one. Yes, for Pantera. I'm so glad so many coin collectors listen to Pantera. Like, what? The things people don't know about coin collectors, right? They really actually all like Pantera on the weekends. That's actually what they would usually just, they're all headbangers and they had no ideas. So anyways, do the doilies go for stupid money? So what happens with the doilies is that you see people pricing stuff however they want to. And it's basically like you look at it and you say, this has got to be worth $1,000. I'm going to price it at $3,000. And then you have it at the show and you just keep it until you find someone dumb enough to pay that price for it. That's what happens, right? So people just price things however they want when they get really odd items. I saw there was a guy with a Pan Pack, an MS-65, and a doily with a CAC sticker. And I thought, yeah, that's going to be expensive. And I don't remember how much he had it priced for, but it was a lot of money. And I was like, yeah. He'll find somebody probably eventually. But what the problem is on that type of stuff is you'll actually end up having a few guys that kind of scarf up all the material, like they keep kind of hoarding it. And it eventually they artificially inflate the market. I mean, at some point, they're controlling the market to a certain extent, and that can be kind of problematic, so, yeah. I had an interesting conversation with a guy about baseball collectibles along those lines, not baseball, sports cards today, about how, these Michael Jordan rookie cards, they're $200,000 each, but there's like 300 of them. And I thought, wow, is there really that many people who are dropping $200,000 in a card, or is it just kind of a controlled market? That's a whole other thing. So, anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for all of your time. Thank you for your suggestions. I'm going to have to look into the Nashville show and see what that looks like, see what my schedule looks like. Y'all are going to convince me to looking into going back to Cali. All right, great. We're going to play musical games now? Is that what we're going to do? I'll see. In my schedule, I've got lots of other things that I do in life besides all this stuff, right? So, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get out to the LB and sometime, and get out to Nashville and Baltimore and all these places that I haven't been, and anytime. But please, here's the thing though. Seriously, I know you guys spent time hanging out with me, which I really appreciate. Also, if you haven't figured out yet, and this is not condescending, I just get feedback from people. Couple things. there's like a little icon, like a bell icon on YouTube that if you click on it, you manage your notifications. It tells you when you're getting, when I put a new video up. And the reason I say that is because I have people who say they watch the videos and then I know that they watch it like once a week. And I have videos going up basically every day right now. If you have like the membership thing, we got a special one usually on Saturdays. So that's 7 days a week basically now. I don't know if that's forever or whatever, but the point is the notification bell. Although realistically, if you just click on YouTube in the afternoon, you can see what's ever updated. But I don't know that YouTube will actually show you my videos unless you are not only subscribed, but you hit the notification bell. Because if you don't watch a video, like if they show you my video 2 or 3 days in a row and you don't click on it, they might stop showing you the videos. And, then you might miss something that you enjoy, right? So do hit the little notification bell. Also, I'm a lot more mindful of saying things like, do hit the like button as well, leave comments because on just the regular videos. Because here's the thing. There's a lot of people out there making content, and a lot of it is good, and a lot of it is not. And the reality is eventually people are going to just be able to pay for position on this stuff. And as long as YouTube's going to play it straight and give us algorithms where we can say, hey, look, people watch this, people comment on this, people share this, we will continue to show this to other people who are like-minded. Community, it's what we do. It's what our YouTube goals are. It's what most of you are. When I talk to you guys in person, when I see your chats, when I see you guys talk to each other, I know this is all about community. The coins are fun, but the humanity is even funner, more funner, I think is what I would say. By the way, I don't know all of your handles, right? So what I will say is when you have, if you see me at a show and you comment often and you use a pseudonym, on YouTube, go ahead and make sure that you just introduce yourself and then say, hey, so-and-so. I go by this name on YouTube or whatever. Or maybe you've hit me up on Instagram before. I'm admittedly not on Instagram as much as I am on YouTube because, I've got all this stuff going on here. And heaven forbid I spend 30 seconds on my phone doing Instagram. It's a lot. It's a whole lot, right? All right. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much. 2 p.m. Eastern is when my videos drop, unless it's the other time of the year when you guys change your time zones, which we don't in Arizona. By the way, it's the only thing about Arizona that I can really be proud of. Our time never changes. Never. All right. Peace out, guys. Have a good night. Thanks. Anyone who's coming to the show tomorrow, introduce yourself as with a real tea and herring. Please stand up. Oh, my gosh. All right. Peace out. You guys have a great night, and I'll see some of you at the show tomorrow. And if not, we'll catch you on the next live stream. Thanks.